headlines over the weekend that seem to suggest you no longer identify as being Nigerian. Of course, you were born in this country, you spent your childhood in Nigeria. Were those headlines accurately reflecting what you were saying? What's your sort of status in terms of how you identify British, Nigerian, all the rest of it?
Well, I think that the BBC certainly wrote that headline. It wasn't quite what I said, but it is true. My main identity is as British. That is what I see myself as. Nigeria is a nationality. It's not an ethnicity. There's no such language as Nigerian. There are lots of different ethnic groups there. And I think that as a politician in this country, we need to be very focused on what is happening here, not what's happening elsewhere.
Yes, when a tree consistently produces bad fruit, then you stop blaming the fruit and you look at the roots of that tree.
Now to a story that is stirring headlines, not just in Nigeria, but here in the UK. British, not Nigerian, Conservative MP Kemi Badenoch is facing backlash after saying she no longer identifies as Nigerian and hasn't had a Nigerian passport in over 20 years. Speaking on a podcast, she said, "Home is where my family is." The comments have sparked outrage across social media, with critics accusing Badenoch of disowning her heritage. Others defend her right to identity however she chooses. To explore the historical and cultural layers behind this controversy, I sat down with lawyer, author and historian Dele Ogun. Dele Ogun, always a pleasure having you on Channels Business Global. I suppose this is Kemi Chat 2.0. I didn't think we'd be having it so soon after our discussion a couple of months ago, but the Conservative Party leader has hit the headlines again on both sides of the Atlantic. She says she's no longer Nigerian. What are your thoughts on these comments that have sparked controversy globally?
Well, it can't get any worse for Nigeria, can it? Let's face it, this is a very high-profile person in global politics. This is the shadow Prime Minister of Great Britain. And saying that she's no longer Nigerian and reinforcing it by saying, I haven't held a Nigerian passport for the last 4 years. She's walked away from Nigeria. So how much worse can it get? It's bad for the country. It's worse than what we had before. If you remember, the last time Nigeria was disparaged by a significant political leader in this country was David Cameron. Yeah. You remember the comment, fantastically corrupt. This is much worse because that one you can say that, oh, it's racism, he doesn't know what's going on. This is a home girl that's saying this. So you can't dismiss it on the basis that she doesn't know what she's talking about. You've got to look for another explanation. And is the explanation that what she says is totally untrue and unfair? I'm not sure we can say that. I know there's an emotional reaction amongst Nigerians to say, how dare she? But there are two levels. There's a level at which you recognize that if the country was on the mend, would she be saying that? If the country was on the up, however selfish you might say she is, would she be saying that? When you bear in mind that her background was that her father told her, there's nothing here for you in this country.
Wow.
That is Nigeria, when she was 16. And that's why she opted. So when you choose like that, especially when it comes to politics, it's not like Saka playing for England instead of Nigeria.
Yes.
That's not an affair so much of the heart. It can be just off the head. But when it comes to politics, when you are forced to choose, and Nigeria did force her to choose, who are you going to play for? If there had been an opportunity for her to play at a significant level in the Nigerian political space, i.e. we ran our political system as we're supposed to, she would have had a platform and she would have been playing for us. Instead, she chose to play for England, play for Britain. And when you make that choice, it's not just a matter of the mouth, it's not just a matter of the head. You've got to show that it's a matter of the heart, because there will be political opponents looking at you very, very carefully to say, how sincere is your choice? So it's majorly embarrassing, especially when you consider efforts to try and attract foreign investments into the country. I mean, it's a big hit. It's a real body blow. Whatever tours and trade missions you go on, the one that will always ring loud in everybody's head is Kemi Badenoch, who say, I'm no longer a Nigerian.
Dele, I want you to talk to me about the political strategy behind this. A lot of our viewers may not be familiar with Kemi. They only may see what they read about her on blogs, but I'm familiar with her. I know you are. Parliament just behind me, I've sat at events that have been hosted or convened by Kemi that refer to Nigeria. She's been to Nigeria. She's taken her children to Nigeria. She is not unfamiliar with the country. Why is she doing this? Why does she keep disparaging Nigeria time and time again? What is the strategy behind it?
Well, it's important to bear in mind that, in fairness to her, she's not disparaging Nigerians.
Right.
She's disparaging Nigeria.
Okay.
And she's doing it in the context of having to demonstrate to her chosen people, because she had a choice. Many of us don't have a choice. She's
But so did Rishi. So did Sajid Javid, former Home Secretary.
Indeed.
Nadine Zahawi.
True. But in her case, she's in a position where she's vying for leadership of Britain. She's having to demonstrate.
Sadiq Khan is the London mayor. He was in Lagos last week. He wasn't disparaging India.
Yep, true. There are other ways of going about it. And so there's an element where it's a misjudgment on her part in terms of how she chooses to play her card. She's chosen the line of, and let's again be honest, that some of the stuff she's saying is what Nigerians are saying between themselves.
True.
Every conversation that we're having
On WhatsApp or X.
on WhatsApp and X, any gathering of Nigerians, we are making those comments, and we're making it from the heart.
I think that's a fair point.
We're not anti our people. Where is objective assessment to say this thing is not working, and historically people have not been listening. They've been blocking their ears. Now she's shouting it from the rooftop only because of her platform and her profile. And people are saying, oh, you shouldn't be saying that to at that level, such that others can hear. Well, we've got to decide whether we're going to double down and say what she's saying is completely untrue, or we're going to acknowledge that there are issues there, and we've got to respond to it.
Very important question. As you said, there's been controversy, huge backlash online, offline. Some Nigerians have accused her of weaponizing negative stereotypes. Do you think this is part of a longer tradition in how Western politicians of African descent position themselves? Is Kemi an outlier, or is there precedent?
There's precedent. If you remember, Kwesi Kwarteng was also a member of the cabinet. He was Ghanaian. Did he come out
First
and
Black Chancellor of the Exchequer?
Indeed.
Didn't last very long.
Did he make any comments directly disparaging
Ghana?
Ghana? No. However, there is precedent. There is a book that he wrote titled Ghosts of Empire. Anybody who reads that book, it's not Africa friendly, let's put it that way.
Okay.
It's a complete whitewash of colonialism. So there are different ways that they do it. She's gone a peculiar way, but there is precedent for that. And sometimes these climbers, these diaspora climbers, in their desperate effort to show that they belong and they can be trusted, often are the ones who kick the ladder down.
I spoke to you a couple of weeks ago following the death of General Muhammadu Buhari, who happened to die literally 5 minutes away from where we're sitting. No press coverage. Kemi Badenoch's comments, oh my goodness, headlines on the Times and the Telegraph, all of the mainstream broadcast networks in the UK covered it. Neither for nor against. I suppose they were testing the temperature, apart from some opinions in The Guardian. Are you surprised at how they picked it up? Do you think basically this is going to backfire?
Not surprised if you're comparing it to Buhari's news. Buhari was not their politician. Buhari was not a major player in their political affairs. And so what she thinks about and what she has to say about Nigeria, given her platform. If she was a low-level MP, it wouldn't matter. It wouldn't get that news coverage. But she is the shadow prime minister. It's very, very, and they are, the political opposition are testing her loyalty.
Wow.
And this is not just the Labour Party. Bear in mind, it's a right wing of her Conservative Party. Now following Nigel Farage,
absolutely.
she's having to fight that wing.
Absolutely.
And that wing is the one that's looking at her most suspiciously to say, is what we have here a true Brit? Or is it really a Nigerian in disguise?
Goodness
and she's being forced to say, I'm not a Nigerian.
Wow.
I'm committed, I'm loyal.
She's been forced to say it. Does she mean it? And also, we discussed this off air. Final question for you, Dele. Is there any coming back from this? A few of us defended her, not blindly, but we said, hey, you know, it's very nuanced if you grew up in England. I'm a maid in England, you know. I spent most of my time in Brighton. Things are difficult for me. Not every diaspora is cookie cluttered, but this is almost indefensible, isn't it?
Well, I mean, Nigerians have to bear this in mind. This is a tale of two Kemis. Remember the other Kemi? The other Kemi, Adeosun, I should say, who happens to be my junior sister. She was born in England.
Former Minister of Finance.
She was born in England,
Yeah.
lived all her life in England, and chose to play for Nigeria. And what did Nigeria do to her? They rubbished her name. They accused her of forgery, forging certificates, something that she would never do in a million years. And that's how Nigeria played her. The one who chose to play for Nigeria. And then you have the one who actually grew up in Nigeria. That was the contrast. The one who chose to play for Nigeria grew up in England.
Formative years.
Absolutely.
Formative years.
Grew up in England. And could have played for England and chose to play for Nigeria.
Wow.
And Nigeria rubbished her. And the newspapers, etc., messed up her name. And the one who says, I'm distancing myself from Nigeria. Why are Nigerians so upset? Is because they applauded her so loudly on the way in. They were jubilating.
As we do.
As we do.
We did it with basketball, we did it with football.
And notwithstanding that she's playing for the opposition. And at the time when people were clapping and applauding her and almost declaring it as if it was something for Nigeria. I said, no, she's playing for the opposition. Is there a way back for Kemi? I believe there is. I believe that
She's not killed anybody.
Oh, well,
I said that in a WhatsApp group the other day. I nearly got my head bitten off, but it's true. It's not. It's redeemable, surely.
Well, it's
indefensible, but redeemable.
It's actually more than that, because as I read her, in her heart of hearts, she's actually a Yoruba nationalist. Her father was a Yoruba nationalist. If there had been a Yoruba government, this is the Margaret Thatcher of Yoruba nation.
Wow.
Absolutely. You can't take it away from her. You may not like the comments that she makes, but she performs at the highest level. Let's give her credit.
Yeah.
To be leading
Absolutely.
the Conservative Party.
Alongside Sir Keir Starmer at this particular time, we got two wars.
At a very, very high level indeed. And
she's adored by her party members, clearly.
Absolutely.
They voted her in.
So I don't, I take nothing away saying that she would have been a Margaret Thatcher of Yoruba Nation. But her Yoruba Nation, she didn't get an opportunity to play that part. It's almost like an actor, a top-level actor looking for a role. And somebody needs to cast me. And Britain is the one that's decided to cast her in the role that she can demonstrate and exhibit the skills that she has.
It's a great analogy, and I've got to ask before you go about the Yorubas. There are plenty in London. They will be convening under an umbrella in the next couple of weeks. Very briefly, can you talk to us about it? How can people attend, get involved? It's been going for 25 years. A lot of people surprised. Yes,
I mean, the Yoruba National Day started in England on the 23rd of September 2000. And it was designed to bring the diaspora, the Yoruba diaspora, together. This is 2025, the 25th year of this celebration. So it's taking place on the 21st of September. They should just find me online somehow.
Well, Bonny, vaccine is so good. So I'm sure all the details are on the screen right now.
The details will be on the screen.
On the screen right now.
I'm sure. And
Kemi, you're going to be. Is Kemi,
I think we're going to discuss Kemi.
Is she a special guest of?
Extend the invitation. I think we're going to discuss her.
Extend the invitation.
We want to try and bring her in. She's the number one. Let's face it. She's the
number one. Yes, absolutely. It's very topical.
No doubt about it. And I think, as I said, in her heart of heart, She's a Yoruba nationalist.
She's looking for home.
We're ready to take her back.
Okay.
Nigeria may not be ready to take her back, but Yoruba nation will take her back.
Thank you so much, Dele Ogun, author,
It's a
historian, lawyer. Always fascinating hearing from you. Thank you.
What is our true identity? Our identity that has survived the Black Holocausts, never before captured on film.
This cross is toying with the fires of hell. What is all this talk about ancestors and spirits? Holy Ghost fire! Please count me out.
And there goes your identity. Let's just swear on the Bibles and the Qurans and steal as we deem fit and live heartlessly ever after. It's Nigeria after.
A country they had taken and run as they liked, yoking together into one humongous country without recognizing our nationalities, without respect for our ancestral ties. They wanted us to work this nation and make it work. Were we indeed free? Are we free?
I don't care. We don't care whether it is your mother, your father, your sister, your son, or your family members. All resistance must be eliminated.
So these people got us by using these useless idiots amongst us. Gave them power and then hauled us into slave ships, headed for a trip to doom across the Atlantic.
So not bring us together into a country without respect for our ancestral identity was a plan to make us fail. But why? So they can keep looting us?
We are gathered now, not to bury Nigeria, but to create it and rename it as a model of self-determining and self-protecting ethnic nations, collaborating for mutual benefits, just like ancient times. We've always been and will always be an orange